You guys already know, we talk about Via Hemp all the time. We absolutely love this brand. Whether you're looking for something to take the edge off, or help you get better sleep, or help ease some chronic pain, Via Hemp has a product for you. They are the only edible company that we use. Their products taste just like candy, so you don't get any nasty aftertaste. Via legally ships nationwide, discreet, direct to your door, no medical card required, and backed by a worry-free guarantee. So if you're 21 and up, treat yourself to Via's annual Spring 420 sale. Black Friday level savings up to 35% site-wide right now. Up to 50% off packs and bundles, and get a free gift and more savings with your first order over $50 using our code WIFEOFCRIME1. Go to viahemp.com and enjoy free shipping on orders over $50. That's viahemp.com/WIFEOFCRIME1.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Xyzal is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Xyzal keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all, take Xyzal. At night.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
On this month's episode of Start Spreading the News, we talk all about Kanye West's new single that is incredibly cringe, an update on Onijah Robinson making it back home, a newly released CIA document all about an alien encounter, a Florida woman who posed as an ICE agent to arrest her ex's new wife, a group of Bronx vigilantes, and so much more. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Start Spreading the News, aka Wife of Crime, our bonus monthly episode where we talk about the news.
And stuff that pops in our head.
This is
Russ, a.k.a. Warner Wolf, a.k.a. Let's Go to the Videotape. And Jess, you can be your normal Barbara Wawa.
A.k.a. Kawabawait.
Miss Kawabawait.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lisa Ling. I like Lisa Ling.
I really like Lisa Ling, too. She does this really good show. I don't remember what it's called, but it was like a documentary style show, and it was so good.
I think she did a documentary on North Korea that I watched.
That's interesting.
But I'm really hoping it's her and I'm not confusing her for another Asian.
Oh, God.
Because that's something I would do. I'm really bad with faces, names.
You are. Ethnicities, languages, accents, all of it.
I'm good at something, but I don't know what it is yet.
North Korea is a crazy place. There's this girl, this white girl, who lives there as a tourist. And I guess she's allowed to film as a tourist there. And everyone's saying that these are like propaganda videos, you know, because they like want to prove that they're not having these secret slave camps where they like put North Korean citizens in slavery.
So this white girl is their token.
Well, yeah, she's over there and like showing all the great sides of North Korea, and she shows all these videos, but like they usually don't let white people there, and they usually don't let people film. Yeah, I found her videos on TikTok. It came up in my algorithm. I have a really weird algorithm on TikTok.
I have weird algorithms.
I'm sure you do.
My latest problem is I'm getting too many breastfeeding videos on Instagram.
Oh, God.
I saw one boob, right? I click on it. You got to be careful what you click on because then it's going to show you more of what you clicked on. So I see a boob, I click it, and then it's a baby breastfeeding on a really succulent boob.
Oh, stop.
Go check out succulent Chinese food, folks. That's where I got that from. But, so I click on it, and it's a woman breastfeeding. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't want to see that. So then now I'm getting recommended all these videos.
Breastfeeding
and
women.
Some of them aren't real babies. They're using dolls so they could show their boob and not get restricted.
So it's like they're trying to just find a loophole.
Yeah, but the one lady I saw, the original one, it was the Spanish lady, and her kid looked like he was 7 years old.
I've seen that before.
I don't know if that's considered feeding your kid or sucking a titty at that age.
Here's the thing. Listen, we'll get some people say something about this, but the fact of the matter is, I knew a lady back in the day. I'm not going to say where I knew her from. I'm not going to say any other context.
Come on, we want it all.
Not doing it.
If I know, I'm going to say it, folks.
But I know a lady whose son was to the point where he could eat steak with a fork.
Do I know this person?
Nope. And he would say to her, "Mommy," I forgot what he called it. Maybe "Mommy milk."
Give me that titty.
Or something like that. He could talk. He had teeth. He could eat steak with a fork. And he still would breastfeed.
See, I don't understand children in general.
And I don't like that. It made me uncomfortable. It was a long time ago. Some people, I guess, let their kids breastfeed really late. I found it weird.
Well, I was on Infamil. I made it. My bones, I guess, are kind of brittle.
I was a formula kid, too.
Yeah. I remember seeing the first time I ever saw someone breastfeed in public. And I saw a lady's nipple. I was young. I was like, holy shit, she pulled out her boob.
I don't find anything wrong with breastfeeding in public. I just find it weird when your kid can eat steak with a fork in front of me and then 5 minutes later asks for milk.
You know, if I had to breastfeed, or, you know, if I had a body part that shouldn't be seen, and I was going to feed my kid, I would cover it with a blanket. This way my kid could eat in private.
You want your kid to be... Yeah, I mean, I get that.
You know, I'm a discreet dude. Like, it's very odd for me to even have a podcast because I'm very discreet into myself.
You are very to yourself.
You know, I don't know if I could say this anymore, but bad boys move in silence and violence.
God. What a herb. I can't believe you said that. CrimeCon asked us to be a podcast row. They asked us twice.
Oh, they did?
Sent us 2 emails. Like, please be part of Podcast Row on the CrimeCon cruise. And that was an automatic no, because Russ's worst nightmare. I mean, he loves you guys, don't get me wrong, from afar. But his worst nightmare is to be trapped on a cruise with a bunch of people he doesn't know who want to talk to him nonstop.
Now, I'll talk to people sometimes, but...
No, but a cruise, like, you almost can't escape.
Well, fuck that. How the tables have turned, CrimeCon.
True, CrimeCon.
We hit you up, and you didn't want to take us. And I personally didn't want to go anyway, but I felt like it was the podcastly thing to do.
Years ago, we got rejected by CrimeCon.
Yeah!
They didn't even want a part of us. And now they're begging.
In the words of the great Mike Jones, back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me.
Who is Mike Jones?
Mike Jones, back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. He's a rapper.
I don't know who Mike
Everyone knows that song. When you hear it, you'll know.
I hear it, I'll know it.
Yeah, so, you know, well, maybe we'll end up going to CrimeCon one day. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk too much shit about them.
Fuck that. If they said you can't go because you said back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me. First of all, I'm not even hot. Like, as far as in the podcast world. Like,
yeah, we're little still.
We're not little. We're
medium.
Yeah, we're schmediums. Maybe we could go and I could wear the glasses with the mustache on it in between. But the fucking problem is now my chair gives me away.
It's true.
I would be able to blend in being an average middle-aged white guy.
You see a white dude with fly sneakers in a wheelchair and one of those eyeglass masks on, you're done. Everyone's going to know it's you.
You know what? If they ask me at the right time, if I'm like a little drunk, a little buzzed, I'm like, fuck yeah. And then when the day comes to go, I'm like, fuck, I got to go to that.
Well, we already said no, so it's too late.
We did? You answered?
Yes, you told me to say no.
Oh, I would have left them on red.
No,
Because they left us on red.
They did leave us on red, but you told me to say no, so I did.
Or we should have hit them with D. Like, listen, we're not sure if we can go. We have to ask D, and maybe D could come with us. Can we possibly bring a third with us? And they're like, D, what's D's last name?
Or who's D?
Who's D? D's nuts.
That would have been brilliant.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well.
I always get telemarketers with D's nuts.
He does. When the telemarketers call, oh, my God, he says the most deranged things. He really does.
One dude was texting me, and he was a real estate agent. I shared this, actually, a long time ago on Instagram, and he was a real estate agent, and he was like, hey, you have a property listed? We did, but it sold. I was like, oh, we sold it, whatever. And he was like, do you have any friends that have any listings? I was like, oh, yeah, I think my friend D has some.
He did. This is through text, right?
And then he was like, oh, do I know D? And I hit him with D's nuts. And he was like, damn, you got me. I really thought that you had a lead. He was definitely from the Bronx.
Definitely. He took it well.
Yeah, he laughed, too.
He laughed. He took it well. Well, I just got one question for you. Do you miss the old Kanye? Because I do.
Oh,
bro.
Kanye is the glizzy goblin.
What is happening?
He made a song called Cousin. It came out this week, I believe.
Yeah.
Talking about the time him and his cousin watched porno.
And imitated it.
And gobbled each other up. So in his song, he sings, I gave my cousin head.
He literally sings it the whole song. This is not a joke. It's on Spotify. It's called Cousins. He is outing his cousin.
Who's in jail.
I just want to know your sources of, do you know for sure that's the cousin?
Charlemagne the God told me.
So Charlemagne the God said this cousin is in jail. Charlemagne the God might be right, although he gets too much hype sometimes, in my opinion, but whatever.
Well, I don't give him no hype. It's just what I heard. I don't hate him or love him.
I don't hate him or love him, but sometimes I feel like, to name yourself Charlemagne the God means you're a little full of yourself.
Well, people think that I'm an idiot for being a profiler.
Well, anyway, the song is called Cousins. Go listen for yourself. Actually, I don't know. Don't even give him a download.
No, you should. It's really weird. But it made me listen.
It did make you listen.
I think they should have named it Glizzy Goblin.
Oh, God. Please stop.
I think so.
Ugh. It just, some things are just not for the public knowledge.
Well, he went from doing the swastika stuff to KKK. I guess that didn't give him that much attention. So he said, give me that dick.
This whole attention-seeking behavior is crazy. I just miss the old Kanye. I want the Graduation album back. I want the Kanye who did all that stuff.
I personally don't care. Bring back DMX and let's trade DMX for Kanye.
True. I would trade DMX for Kanye any day.
I could probably think of other people.
I would trade DMX for most rappers.
Yeah.
I would resurrect DMX for most rappers.
Yeah, get at me, dog.
He's the best. I'm still, sometimes I'm still in awe of
that you could have had sex with DMX.
Ew, no. Okay.
He did invite her backstage, folks, if this is for the people that didn't listen to past episodes.
He did invite me backstage.
He did throw a sweaty towel at her.
He did.
I love DMX, but you did catch a crackhead sweaty towel.
It was gross.
Imagine you're in New York City walking around and a regular crackhead threw a towel at you that was sweaty. Like, get the fuck up. Jess was like, oh, she rubbed it on her face.
I did not rub it on my face. Don't even lie. That's disgusting.
And then we left, and she's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, throw it right there in the trash. What do you mean? You got fucking crackheads. But listen, I gotta stop.
DMX.
I love DMX.
You just got upset that he threw me a towel and he wanted to bring me backstage. But also, you shouldn't get that upset. You should be happy.
Well, this was Fat DMX when he was out of jail, his first concert after his last time in jail, so he was clean.
It was also his last concert in New York, right?
I don't know. He was alive for a couple years after that.
Oh. So well, it was his first concert back to New York. And
he featured me on the title of his show.
And if you watch the documentary on HBO of that night, you will see Russell.
We did do a thing back when it first came out. first person to spot me and send like a picture of it. We sent them like a T-shirt or whatever.
Yeah, I think we sent them merch. I can't
merch
remember
of their
what
choice.
it was. Yeah, so anyway, R.I.P. DMX. I would trade him for Kanye any day.
You stole my story. I was going to bring up Kanye.
Well, I just, I can't believe it. Some things are just not meant for public knowledge. Imagine if his cousin is in jail. Imagine what he's going through right now. That's all I gotta say.
I know multiple people. This is weird, that have had sex with a cousin.
You
like
do?
a first cousin, yeah.
Multiple people?
Yeah.
Wow.
That I grew up with.
Wow.
Crazy.
But were they the same sex?
No.
That's what I mean. Like, what's weird about this, it's not just that it's his cousin, it's that it's his male cousin.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is just a whole other level.
The poor cousin that's in jail now, like, guarantee before this, he was telling everyone, oh, Kanye's my cousin when I get out, or, something like that.
Yeah.
And now they're like, now they wink at him when they see him, like, oh.
Oh, God. I want to go back to the time when things were just more innocent. Early 2000s. I did a Peloton ride the other day, and all the music was early 2000s, and it was fantastic. That was a time of music. I miss that.
That makes you
time.
old. That's why I don't say that.
I don't care. I don't care if it makes me sound old.
You are old.
I am. I'll be 40 this year. The big 40.
I never thought I'd be with an old ass woman.
I never thought I'd be with an old ass man, but here we are.
Well, you're 10 years older than me, so.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure everyone believes that.
Well, they would go by who's the least mature, and it's probably me, so they think I'm younger.
Yeah, true. You are the least mature out of the two of us. That is the truth. In other news, Onijah is back in New York.
AKA the queen.
The queen of, I don't know what she's the queen of.
I don't want to say the Bronx, because we found she's from the Bronx.
We did find out she is not from Brooklyn, everybody. She is from the Bronx. And Russ, I have to say, had mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was... It doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me one bit. On that episode, I legit said 100% she's from the Bronx.
For the people that don't know who Onijah is, the quick thing, she's the lady that went over to Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
She met someone on the internet, and she went over there to be his concubine.
A concubine?
That's what I don't know. I thought maybe that's what they called him over there.
She went over there to be his wife. And we did a whole deep dive on Onijah. A couple start spreading the newses ago.
She has a dance.
She does?
Yeah, she like puts her finger under her nose and dances. I think we could get you to do it. People will like that.
Oh, okay.
And she like wiggles her leg and does like a little head bop.
Yeah, she says she didn't get put in jail because we thought she got arrested in Dubai and she was in jail.
Or more.
But she was not. She says she was just stuck in Dubai for a month. Do I believe her? Nah.
I think she was if she wasn't in prison, she was definitely being held somewhere. Because
in Dubai.
She didn't even have money.
No.
Because she was sleeping outside in Pakistan at first when the husband... Well, whoever the boyfriend found out she wasn't who she claimed to be.
Yeah.
Didn't she claim to be a white person? So she even looked like who she was.
No, she used the Nicki Minaj filter to catfish him. With the blonde hair.
But now she's getting her makeup and shit done for free.
Yeah.
And she's looking like her face is looking good now. Before in Pakistan, she had the white head.
Yeah, she had like the
white
wrong
forehead.
Foundation color on her head.
You know what? That was probably the only kind they had in Pakistan. They probably don't have a Sephora.
Maybe.
Not everyone's the super duper platinum diamond member, Jess, whatever that is.
I'm a Rouge member. Okay. Which means that I buy a lot of stuff at Sephora.
Yes.
The first time Russ ever realized what a Rouge card was, this flamboyant, beautiful gay man was like, oh my God. He was checking me out, like in the line. He was checking me out in the line. And Russ was with me. And I handed him my Rouge card. And he was like, oh my God, you're a Rouge member. And Russ was like, what's that? And he was like, oh, it means that she spent over $1,000 at Sephora.
And that's probably nothing because
nothing.
One mascara is probably like $100 in that motherfucker.
Well, anyway, I'm just going to need you to take that L.
I'll hold
Onijah.
that. That's 2 weeks or 2 weeks, I think, in a row that I had to hold an L. Well, one was on Patreon episode.
Yeah.
You know, just us middle-aged white men just doing dumb shit out there, killing and chilling.
Yeah. We had a whole conversation about middle-aged white men and why they are the worst.
No. We are not. See, it just always happens to be a middle-aged white person doing this dumb shit, unless the other race is just ain't as stupid as us.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe nobody is as stupid. But yeah, so Onijah's back in New York City, back in the Bronx, where she belongs, I would say.
Yeah, so one of the articles I looked at is about the CIA and aliens.
Oh.
You know, I'm a huge alien dude.
Yes, Russ loves aliens.
Take me home.
What did this article say?
This was from the Cold War era.
Okay.
And in I think it was 1991. Basically the CIA released these documents recently.
Like this month?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there was a 250-page document from the KGB, which I believe is something like, I don't know, some special forces in Russia.
Yeah, they're like the CIA of Russia, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. But
yeah, so
we're going to go with that.
They released that there was like a flying saucer flying over people in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot at it with like some anti-air shooting thing.
Wait, anti-air? What
like a rocket type thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. It could have been a RPG. It could have been a Nerf gun. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
You ask too many details.
Sorry.
Just sit there and listen.
Okay.
This is probably what you think about me. So they hit it, and it falls.
The saucer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they say I forgot what they said they look like big-eyed, and like aliens come out of it.
No.
Yes. And I think it's like they turned, and then they all huddled up and turned into one being.
The aliens?
This is what the CIA says.
No.
Yes. And they shot like some light at the people.
Uh-huh.
And it turned them to stone.
The people?
The people.
No.
I'm telling you.
Wait, who wrote this article?
The CIA.
No, who wrote the article that you're reading from?
It's all over, but this particular one is on the New York Post.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. So I'm not going to tell you where I got this information. Just know that I have come across someone who worked for NASA, and him and I had a very long conversation about aliens. This is someone who is very intelligent when it comes to space, okay? It's an actual rocket scientist. I will not name my source. We talked for a few hours about space, and aliens came up, and I asked him, okay, do aliens exist? And he said, yes, he believes aliens exist. However, it's thousands and thousands of years away. Like the next galaxy is so far away, it would take them thousands of years to get here. So like the actual plausibility of them being able to reach us, it's just not very plausible.
Well, because in our lifetime, we die before we can get there. We would have to be able to travel faster than the speed of light.
Yes, and that only happens in Star Wars.
Yeah, so they were saying that the people, they were like short beings with really big eyes that were black.
So like, wait. Why is this not on all of the news?
It is.
It's not.
Well, it's because it's not, because Donald Trump didn't do it. Donald Trump's the only thing in the news lately. It's all...
True. It's all just like political back and forth.
Yeah.
So this was the Cold War era.
The Cold War era.
And they turned people into stone.
23 soldiers were turned into stone. Only 2 soldiers who stood in the shade and were less exposed to the luminous explosion survived. So they turned them into stone.
Like Medusa. This is crazy. I don't know. It's too unbelievable. CIA released this month.
CIA, and they got it from the KGB, and it's a 250-page report. Unless they're trying to trick us, but, you know, we always do see strange things in the sky. Not we as in me.
You would love to see strange things in the sky.
Take me home, baby. I hear they got them new Air Jordan legs up there.
Air Jordan legs.
If I could pick legs, I'm going to say, give me them Jordan legs. I'm trying to jump. They're like, but they black. They don't match. I'm like, that's okay.
White men can jump. There you go.
I mean, I was a decent jumper, but I wasn't jumping as high as some of my black friends. Some of them motherfuckers was dunking at like 13.
Fun fact, this is a terrible thing, but me and Russ were dating, walking through our old neighborhood one day, and we had been dating like a few months, I think, and I dared him to dunk a basket because he told me he could dunk, and I told him I didn't believe him, so then I dared him to when we were both drunk, and he retore his ACL that day.
It went in, but that rim was a little lower than 10 feet. Like, it was probably like...
But that's when you retore your ACL, and I felt so bad. It was my fault.
Well, I didn't re-tear it. I just didn't have an ACL at that point. So when I landed, it popped.
You didn't have an ACL?
No, because I already popped it.
Oh, you'd already
Once
torn
you tear it, you can't re-tear it.
Oh.
You just don't have that stability in your leg.
Well, then his leg blew up like to 3 times its size, and I felt so bad.
Yeah, you should.
All right, so I got a crazy
You're
story.
Evil.
This is almost as unbelievable to me as aliens. Maybe it's not as unbelievable, but it's pretty crazy. Have you heard about the dire wolf being brought back from extinction?
Of course.
They existed over 10,000 years ago. They've been extinct for 10,000 years. And this company of like 130 scientists, they work for Colossal Biosciences. That's the name of the company. And they de-extincted them. And now there's 2 of them. Or actually, there's 3. There's Romulus and Remus, which are 6 months old. And then there's their younger sister, Khaleesi.
Yeah, so they didn't get the DNA from an actual dire wolf. So it's not actually a dire wolf, but they did figure out like what should be in their DNA and not in their DNA.
But I think
by
it is a dire wolf.
By comparing it to the modern day wolf. So they use from what I understand, they use the modern day's wolf's DNA and extracted some things out of it. So what I'm hearing is it's not exactly a dire wolf from like internet scientist, but also the dude you was watching when you was in school. But they're saying
Green?
They're still saying it's like really remarkable what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's not a dire wolf because it's not from the dire wolf's DNA, even though the DNA has been modified. So
they've modified the DNA to mimic the DNA of a dire wolf, essentially. Like to make it a replication of a dire wolf's DNA.
According to my sources, yes.
According to Hank Green. Shout out to Hank. He got me through nursing school. Is that who you talk?
And me.
Is that who you...
Hank gets more credit than fucking me.
Russ used to call Hank Green my boyfriend.
I'm not a jealous dude, so I wasn't saying that in any jealousy.
No, because I literally watched him like my entire nursing school experience because he helped me get through nursing school.
Who else helped you?
You, Russ. Well, they have plans to de-extinct the woolly mammoth. That's their next project. The dodo and the thylacine, which I didn't know what that was. It's a Tasmanian tiger. So very interesting stuff. I think it's pretty cool what they're doing.
This is really some science fiction shit going on, huh?
It is science fiction. It could go completely left. Like, it could go the wrong way, I feel like, if we're not careful and reel it in.
Yeah, but
it also could be really helpful for animals now to not go extinct, species to not go extinct now.
That's true, but you know what? Go the wrong way.
It reminds me of...
What do we got to lose? Everybody's doing all crazy shit.
Have you ever seen Jurassic Park?
I just won't go to the amusement park.
They got out, though. They were on the island, and then they got out because what's his name from Seinfeld?
Oh, Newman.
Remember in the movie, he went,
Yeah, I think my homie Judy Greer was in one of them.
Was she?
Yeah, I think so.
Park? Yeah, you are friends with Judy Greer. Russ is actually friends with Judy Greer.
She's cool.
They had coffee together every morning for like 5 months.
Yeah, she was cool. She was very nice. And she met Jess. She liked Jess.
Yeah, she's a really nice lady in person. So wait, this could be like Jurassic Park, which I find pretty crazy because as a kid, when you watch Jurassic Park, you know, nowadays when you watch it, you're like, oh, damn, special effects. Like, they've come such a long way. But when you're a kid and you watch Jurassic Park, it's amazing to think that. This is kind of like what they're doing. I didn't know in my lifetime I would see anything like this.
Sometimes they're bringing back, people are cloning their dead animals.
Weird.
It is. Like, you're not going to, the animal won't be the same as the animal you love because they're going to have different life experiences.
Yeah.
You know, but
they're actually doing it?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, according to my sources, and my sources are me. So it might be wrong.
Did you look it up?
I've heard it somewhere. I did.
Russ had a dream about it, and now he's putting it out there on the internet. Have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels off? Like lately, you've been doing everything right, eating healthy, working out, and yet your energy still crashes. Or you get these mood swings completely out of nowhere. Well, I've definitely been there. And something I discovered is that a lot of these issues could be tied to hormonal imbalances. Happy Mammoth is a forward-thinking wellness brand that specializes in creating natural health solutions with a strong focus on gut health and hormone balances. They created a product called Hormone Harmony. This supplement is perfect for women of all ages who struggle with life-disrupting symptoms from PMS, menopause, racing thoughts, low moods, poor sleep, occasional bloating and gas, and even low libido. This product is so popular with women that there is a bottle of Hormone Harmony sold every 24 seconds. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use promo code WIFEOFCRIME1 at checkout. That's happymammoth.com. Use promo code WIFEOFCRIME1 for 15% off today. Guys, April is Financial Literacy Month. That's right. They made a whole month reminding you to finally take control of your money. The good news is you don't need 30 days. Acorns makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future in just 5 minutes. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. And you don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. I don't know about you guys, but I personally can get very intimidated with anything related to investing. I feel like it's a whole world that I don't know much about, but Acorns makes it so easy. And I have to say, like, watching my money grow is really exciting. Sign up now and join over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/wifeofcrime or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advertisers, LLC is an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/wifeofcrime.
So I got a PSA for people.
Okay.
So something I've learned from the internet is mixing alcohol with Diet Coke gets you drunker than mixing it with regular Coke.
Really?
Yeah, because the sugar in the regular Coke slows down the metabolization. I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah, metabolization, sure.
It used
whatever.
to be metabolized. Someone corroborate this story.
Wow, so diet. So if you do a Bacardi and diet.
It makes you drunker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of the sugars. They use like those artificial sweeteners.
Yeah.
Versus the real sugar. Makes sense. I mean, ethanol turns into sugar in the body. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's a real fact from
the internet.
From Instagram. We're going to call this episode True Facts.
Yeah, real facts from Instagram.
Yeah.
So I got a really funny. It's funny, but not funny. It's funny from the outside, but if you're the lady that this happened to, totally not funny. So this woman in Florida a couple weeks ago, her name is LaTrance Battle. And she was arrested and charged with kidnapping, falsely impersonating an officer, and robbery because she dressed up as an ICE agent to kidnap her ex's new wife. April 10th, Battle showed up to this lady's job. So this new wife of her ex, she worked at the Days Inn at a hotel, and she was like the front desk lady. And she is obviously like Hispanic or something because she's working on getting her citizenship. So LaTrance Battle walked in wearing a mask, a black jacket, and a T-shirt with ice on the front. It just said ice.
She probably had a homie that made shirts.
Somebody
and was like, yo, can someone put ice on this?
Somebody made her shirt. She walked in, but this lady, you know, all this stuff in the news about these ICE agents just like coming up and kidnapping people off the street. She walked in and she said, we spoke to the sheriff's office and you need to come with us. And this lady is like trying to get her citizenship right now.
Wow.
So she took it seriously. So she went to her boss and she told her boss, like, hey, I got to go with this lady. They're taking me to the sheriff's office. And she like followed directions. She gets in the back of this lady's car and they start driving. But she started getting suspicious when they passed the sheriff's office. And then she calls her new husband, which is this lady's ex, on the phone. And as she's talking to him, LaTrance turns around from the driver's seat and snatches the cell phone out of her hand and takes it. So now she doesn't have a cell phone. She's sitting in the back seat. And LaTrance had, well, I think her name is Tracy. LaTrance, a.k.a. Tracy, had a CB radio.
Wow.
And she's on it, like talking.
Pretending to talk
to people.
Try like, I got this bum bitch in the back of my car. Her hair looks terrible. Her nails aren't done.
So she's talking on this CB radio. So the lady is like, okay, we passed this. She's talking on the CB radio. What the hell's going on? She took my phone. So now they pull up to an apartment complex. And the lady, the ICE agent, quote unquote, says, we're going to go into this apartment. And she leaves her in the car thinking that she's like stuck in the car. I guess she thought she had the child locks on or something. Went into the apartment. God knows what she had set up in there. But the lady got out of the car and ran. And she ended up running down the street and she stopped a bystander and asked to use their phone. She called her husband and she starts describing this woman ICE agent to her husband. And her husband's like, oh, wait. That sounds like my ex, Tracy.
Also, this wasn't his current woman. This was his ex-woman?
His ex.
Wow.
And this is his new wife.
But see, you know how I could believe that she got out of the car and, like, the child locks weren't on?
Why?
Because women don't know how to use their cars that well.
Yes, they do.
First of all, what was it recently? You called me like, my car's not working. Remember?
No, it was a light.
She was like, I can't turn off the light. I pushed everything. And she's like, no, it's broken. I'm like, no, Jess, it's user error. You just don't. She's had this car since 2018. And she's like, no, the light will not turn off. And I'm like,
I was so pissed.
I
couldn't figure it out.
I was like, Jess, when I don't know what to tell you, but when you come here, I'll look in your car and I'll turn it off. She's like, you can't do it. So like an hour later, she's like, I turned it off.
I figured it out.
See, so women have no clue how to use all the extra shit in their car.
So she thought she turned the child locks on, but clearly she didn't. And the lady got out. She got away.
Maybe she turned the light on by mistake.
Maybe. I don't know. But imagine what was going on in that apartment. Was she going to like torture her in there or something? That's scary.
Yeah. I mean,
that could have gone really bad. I just think it's crazy. You don't know what could have happened in that apartment.
Yeah, she could have killed that lady and went to jail for life.
Yeah.
And now her crimes, aren't life sentencing type of crimes.
No, but it's still a felony. So she's going away for a while.
Yeah, but it's going to be what? A few years, depending on her history.
She deserves it.
Yeah, she deserves to go to jail. Yeah, you can't kidnap people, but she would have possibly killed her and went to jail for life.
Well, I'm happy for the lady who got away. Thank God she ran and called her new husband, who realized pretty immediately that it was his crazy ex, Tracy.
Yo, Trey is wild.
This was a lot of effort to put into this. Being on a CB radio, pretending to coordinate a whole ICE operation. This is wild.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, in my news, we did see that the Pope died recently.
He did, yeah.
I am not a religious man.
No.
But what I did find out, which I do commend, is when he died, he only had $100 in his inheritance account or something like that, or whatever. And he had no money in it. He had no money. He had no bank accounts. He had no property. He took the vow of, what do they call that? Like
poverty?
Poverty. He took the vow of poverty and just to serve the people. And he could have been receiving, I think it's 340,000 euros per year for being the Pope, but he also declined that. So he literally was doing it because he wanted to do the right thing. Now, I don't know about religion, whether he did good in their eyes, bad in their eyes, but he was he wasn't in it for money.
Yeah, that is good.
I do commend because, we got these.
You got a Joel Osteen over here.
Yeah, we got people,
these crazy preachers
giving
over here.
10% of their money to motherfucking crooks.
Yeah, Joel Osteen and all those prosperity people. Give me a break with
this motherfucker bought the Atlanta Falcons stadium.
He did?
Yeah.
Joel Osteen?
I believe it's him.
Really?
My sources are me, which is wrong sometimes. But
my head tells me that Joel Osteen bought the Falcons stadium.
The old one.
That's crazy. I just remember that during one of the hurricanes, he didn't open his church doors for people who needed it.
Oh, so maybe it wasn't Atlanta, but he did buy a stadium that used to be a football team's, and I thought it was the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow. Anyway, that's good. That's really nice, actually, and refreshing.
Yeah, that someone's not in it for the money because, all our politicians are crooks because they make, $100,000 or so a year, but they all have many, 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 many millions.
There's this kid on Instagram on TikTok who does a whole thing. I gotta find him because it's really good. He looks through all of these politicians' like net worth and their like financial profiles, and I think his whole channel is your senator a crook? Or like, is your senator a piece of shit, pretty much? And he goes through, or not even senator, representative, district representative, or anyone in the House of Representatives or the Senate. He goes through and he looks at their whole finances and everything and says if they are good or bad people based on their money. And if they're honest people based on it. And it's really interesting to hear him. And he's not biased at all. It's not one-sided. He does equally right and left, and he says the truth based on their finances.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really good.
How much money they have, man. But, if you had information that, buy this stock, it's going to make you rich, you're going to be like, fuck, they voted me in, but it would be nice to be rich.
It would be, but you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to have integrity.
Like South Park, Stan, what his name? Stan's dad or Integrity Farms?
Oh yeah, Integrity Farms.
Yeah, Randy Marsh.
Yeah,
he got the weed farm.
Yeah,
people thought I was growing fucking weed. I'm growing flowers, folks.
Yeah, people did think you were growing weed based on your stories on Instagram.
No, that was just a little flower.
Yeah, just flowers.
Some tomatoes.
Yeah, he's gonna do vegetables and flowers.
I don't even like vegetables. You just can't grow steak.
Russ hates most vegetables.
Now, you know what? I can eat a little bit of vegetables. I just don't like a lot.
His diet is pretty much the equivalent of your 5-year-old child if you have children.
Chicken nuggets are good for me.
Chicken nuggets, mac and cheese.
That's not true.
The occasional vegetable, maybe like 2 of them.
Chicken salads. I like chicken salads.
Chicken salads, yeah.
I could eat,
Pizza.
That's
about it.
I kill for pizza.
He would.
That's my number one.
It is your number one. So I read a story, and I need some clarification, okay? First of all, I think this story is great because, we both, even though we know it can't always happen, we both are fans of vigilante justice to an extent. You more than me, I would say.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel the law lets a lot of people off too easy.
Well, in the Bronx this week, okay, a guy named Oswaldo Ramos, he's a 50-year-old guy with 19 prior arrests, okay?
Arrest? See, I don't fault people for arrests. It depends on the convictions for me, because I've been arrested probably like 5 times in my life. Mm-hmm. And I never been convicted, and it was always for like some bullshit.
True, and if you're dealing with the NYPD, they're
not paying
quick.
A ticket or
True.
Motherfucker gave me trespassing because I was walking across a park that is a very short park with no signs that say you can't be in there after dusk, and they went to give me a ticket.
Well, but
and it was right in front of my building.
Though.
Motherfucker, who are you stopping me? Who are you little twerp? First of all, why are you even talking? I just got out of work. It's fucking 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I got my book bag on. You're fucking bothering me. And yes, I did go to jail that night. But you know what? If we had cameras like we did back in the day, he couldn't have taken me to jail because just talking isn't illegal, and you could say whatever the fuck you want.
You're not allowed to talk shit to NYPD without getting put in jail. No, I did it. I got arrested too.
No, legally you're allowed to. It's when they were because back then there weren't really people recording, and they would just say anything they want about what you did.
Yeah.
So like. You're bothering a fucking dude coming home 2, 3 in from work, dragging his feet 'cause he's tired as fuck, and he's walking through the park to go home, which it's a fucking playground that's like the distance between the entrance and the exit was way less than a football field, maybe like 30 yards.
I know what park you're talking about.
First of all, I hope you got fired.
He probably didn't. He's probably still in the NYPD.
No, the problem is
it was less than 20 years ago, and they do their 20 and out, a lot of them.
Little bitch probably shot someone.
Maybe.
Because he's a chicken.
Well, anyway. Well, this guy, I would believe, because of what he ends up doing, that a lot of his 19 arrests were probably legitimate. Because he's a 50-year-old dude who tried to rape a 70-year-old woman in the middle of the day at 1 p.m. last Friday, in the middle of the day on 184th and Creston Avenue. Okay? So he tries to rape this lady. She gets away. He got to the point of having his pants off. I mean, his clothes were off and some of her clothes were off, but she got away because she fought him. Okay?
Wow.
So good for her.
That's why you got to stay
and
fit.
She's 70.
Stay alive, you know?
Yeah.
For all you people out there getting a little older, keep moving, man. I try to tell my mom to move.
It's true. It's all about longevity.
You got to keep moving.
Middle age and up, we got to focus on that longevity.
Good thing I'm still young.
So the word spread, and the next day, NYPD gets a phone call saying that the suspect was detained
for nothing.
No one's going to get that reference.
It's for the people that do.
You are detaining me for nothing. Well, he was detained for something. A group of men detained him and beat the shit out of him. And then the caller said you can find him at Columbia Presbyterian in the ER because they beat him so bad.
Wait, how many people went and got him?
I don't know. It was a group, and it was an anonymous phone call.
Good.
And the anonymous caller said to the police, this is a direct quote, okay, that they said during the phone call. We don't do that shit around here in our neighborhood. And if he comes back here, I'm going to rock him again.
Respect.
So these dudes found out what happened to the 70-year-old lady, found the dude, beat the shit out of him. He ended up in the ER, and then the police went and arrested him in the ER. Here's my question, okay? Mr. I'm from New York. We don't get involved in nothing. It's a weird duality, I have to say.
No, it ain't.
I don't understand the mentality of 1 minute you don't want to help people because, you know, we've talked about this many times on our podcast, how New Yorkers don't get involved.
Depends on what it is.
And then in other situations, you guys go and hunt down somebody and beat the shit out of them and get involved.
Because not only are you committing a crime against this old woman, you're also disrespecting us in this neighborhood that we live in. So you're disrespecting the whole community. We don't play that disrespect shit.
So, but what about when you say you don't open the door for people begging for help, or like if there's a crime happening in front of you and people in New York don't get involved?
Depends on the crime. And not opening the door is a smart thing because whoever's trying to kill that person is now trying to kill you as well.
Okay.
So does that make sense to you?
Yes. So you're saying it depends on the crime that you would get involved.
It's very circumstantial, and it also depends on our mood.
Depends on our mood.
Because sometimes, you know, I just see something and I don't even want to say nothing.
Well, that's why they do have.
But you ain't gonna let an old lady get beat up. You ain't gonna
or raped.
You ain't gonna let no rape shit go on. You ain't gonna, you know, there's
like a code of conduct.
You got to take care of your community.
Yeah.
And you can't let people disrespect your community.
Well, good for these dudes. I love that he said, if he comes back here, I'm going to rock him again. I love that.
He should get beat up there's certain people, every time that dude gets seen, it should be on site. He should just have to leave because he knows he's going to get knocked out every single damn time.
I wonder if he lives in that neighborhood or if he was just in the neighborhood. His face is all over the internet now.
And he's a weak ass bitch. The 70-year-old lady got away from you fucking little bitch. You can't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's little. They have his face. Crime Stoppers put his face on TV.
Hopefully it's smashed.
What's crazy is, the police spent all night. This all happened the next day. Police were looking for him because she went straight to police and told them what happened. And his face was on Crime Stoppers. So then the dudes in the neighborhood found him and beat the shit out of him. And then he ended up in the ER and they called and, got arrested.
These dudes should get a reward.
Yeah, definitely. When I read that story, one of our listeners, I think it was one of our patrons, sent me this story. And when I read it, I was like, this one feels good. I love there's nothing worse than a child molester, a rapist.
Anybody preying on
people.
Helpless, innocent people.
Yeah.
It sucks as a grown man if someone messes with me, but it ain't as bad because, now it might be, but you'll still be in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's worse, because you're a bully.
You're going after a woman.
Yeah,
and than you.
And she's 70, so you think you're going to be able to dominate this lady. Lady got away, and you got pounded out. And hopefully in jail, they pound out your booty cheeks and make you a glizzy goblin.
Oh, God.
Just like Kanye.
Look at you with the callback.
Yeah, look at that.
It came full circle this episode.
So, one of the problems with getting old is not only do you watch Birds.
Yes, you do watch Birds. I'm big into Birds
as
now.
a fucking middle-aged white man again. Eventually, you find out World War II facts that just interest you. Why do we do that? I don't know. But one of the interesting World War facts that I found out is that the U.S. military made a grenade the same exact size of a baseball because every American boy knew how to throw one.
Wow.
So I thought that was a cool little fact.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a factamundo from your historian.
From Russ the historiologist. Ooh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really, because back then baseball was huge.
Joe DiMaggio went to war.
Oh,
and
true.
A lot of the star baseball players went to war. So you see someone over there yo, give Joe the grenade. Yo, throw that over there, Joe.
Oh, true.
But I think that a lot of the celebrities were more there to boost the morale. I think they did a lot of appearances and stuff.
They didn't fight in the front lines any of these back in World War II, I mean.
See, now this knowledge and my sources come from my head. So I don't know how long ago I heard this or didn't hear it or just made it up.
Okay.
So
they did appearances you're talking about?
I think it's true.
Okay. Well, you don't have to worry because you're on the internet and we're posting this for the world to hear, you will have someone to correct you.
But if you correct us in a smart-ass way, I will block you.
That's true. If you come at us incorrect with your corrections, you will be blocked.
I am the blockinator.
He is. He blocks people almost as much as Cameron blocks people. I think Cameron has 200,000 people blocked.
That's crazy. You know what? I don't even block people that say stuff that bother towards me or towards you. Just if you're a little annoying or your profile picture looks like you have an annoying face or a know-it-all, get out of here.
I think it's the know-it-all thing.
Because I don't know, I'm not out here I know everything. Obviously, I'm I heard it somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you come at me being
like a know-it-all.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just come and say, hey, this is what it actually is, that's fine. Who cares if you're correcting us? But just don't be a know-it-all about it.
I'm not going to believe them anyway.
Yes, you will. Some people do know more than you.
Well, I trust a few people in the crime fam.
Yeah. There's some crime family members that are been here a long time.
We've been here a long time.
We have. All right.
We left you with a dope podcast to step to.
Well, we spread some news, Russ.
And I'm leaving today.
Mm-hmm.
If you could make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Here in the Wife of Crime family?
Well, you can make it through all the podcasts that are sensitive, I guess.
Listen, if you listen to us, you're not sensitive. If you listen to us, you're a pretty cool chick and dude.
And Jess is pretty sensitive. A lot of times, like, while I'm saying stuff, she's cringing her face.
My face does cringe. It is true. I do.
And soon you'll be able to see that on YouTube.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We will be back next time with a regular episode. Check us out on Instagram at Wife of Crime Pod and Facebook at Wife of Crime The Crime Family and wifeofcrime.com for all the merch. And we will talk to you later.